Hello class, today we are going to use Auto Sketchbook and create a 5-value landscape. Right now I'm going to take my fingers and I'm pinching the white to put it in the other orientation. I'm going to do this particular one portrait because I'm making 5 layers. On the right hand side is where my layers are, and I'm going to touch that X bar, and there you will see that another layer appeared. We'll be also using the tool. Again, you can see the blue square light up. That's the drawing of those shapes tool. So it draws a circle, it draws a rectangle, and it draws a straight line. We'll be also using the bucket or the fill bucket tool. There's the bucket. We're going to be using the fill, which is the one you can see it's lit up blue. That makes it one solid color. And then on this side, we'll be using the technical pen tool. I did adjust the size, and that's just to help me to see it a little bit better. It defaults to someplace in the middle, but again, I put it just so I can see it a little bit better. All right. So I'm on my layer. I'm going to go back to my first layer, and the first thing I want to do is to fill up this whole shape in one value. So I'm going to click on here where you see a little color wheel on the bottom. I'm going to click on that, and I am going to be using all of these grays. Well, 6 of them actually. And then these are the colors that kind of default when you open up Auto Sketchbook. So again, I'm using my gray tones for this one. I'm not going to use the first one. I'm going to save that one for later. So I'm going to go to the second one. I'm going to tap on that, and you can see that circle appears. I'm next going to go to the Draw Styles tool. I'm going to pick the rectangle. This down a little bit. Whoops. And then I'm going to, okay, I'm sorry, it's crooked. Okay. I'm going to actually start outside the box. Look, I'll just draw one rectangle so you can see what happens. You can see I drew that rectangle right there. But I want the rectangle to fill up everything, so I'm going to start outside the box and then fill up the whole thing. So again, there is a rectangle. Right now you can't see it because it's outside the box. I'm going to tap the paint bucket and fill, and I'm just going to tap that area, and it did turn that first or second value of gray. And I can see it right there on my first layer. I'm going to label that layer red. You can see a little red dot appears. This is going to be important when on your lighter layers. You can see some of the shapes on the darker layers, but the lighter layers sometimes you'll just see white and you won't know what you drew. So again, it's important to distinguish between layers you've drawn on and layers you have not drawn on. I'm going to add another layer. I'm going to go to my pen tool, and I'm going to be drawing in mountains. I'm going to draw 3 mountains in. So let's do the first layer of mountains. I'm going to start outside. Pen tool. Oops. I also want to make sure before I do that I have a different value of gray. So again, this one I used the second one. Now I'm going down to the 4th one. And I'm going to draw. You can see the line that I am drawing. It's kind of a squiggly mountain range line. Then I'm going to go to my paint bucket. It's already on fill. I'm going to tap that, and it fills that area in. And I'm going to, there's my second layer. You can see that. And again, you can label this orange. Add another layer. Pen tool, pen tool. Oops. Let's go with this color here. Again, drawing those mountains in. You can kind of be a little creative. Oops, not crazy about that one. If you don't like what you did, I'm going to go up to the backwards arrow and then just get rid of that. It's a great thing. Again, you see that a lot. I'm going to draw like 3 little mountains there. Paint bucket. It's on fill. tap. Next layer. Next value. I'm going to go that one. Pen tool. This one I'm actually going to go over that other one just to kind of show you, make sure that went off the edge. Paint bucket. Fill. Whoops, wrong color. I drew that. There you go. So I have 3 mountain ranges, and then in the foreground or in the front area, I'm going to make some pine trees, and I'm going to make those the darkest value. And again, I'm going to make those on its own layer, dark value, pen tool, and think of them as kind of Christmas tree shapes, kind of ziggy-zaggy. Try to make them slightly different. Don't make them all exactly the same, either the same height. Okay. Then I'm going to go to my paint bucket, fill, and tap that in. And because I put them down the bottom, because they do touch that bottom, it even gives it a greater sense of space or depth. So here we use value scale and also the element of space, shape and space. Add another layer. So the last thing I'm going to add is the moon or the sun. And I'm going to do that in my lightest color. So I'm going to go back up there and make sure the lightest is tapped. I'm going to go to my draw styles. I'm going to this time pick the oval or circle shape. I'm going to put it right there. And actually I am putting it kind of over that last mountain. Paint bucket, fill. Now this label, this one I definitely want to label because you can see that, let's make this blue. You can see that you don't see anything on there, and I won't be able to tell which one has the white moon on it or sun and which one doesn't. So again, the lighter ones I generally do label. The darker ones you can see there's the trees, there's the other mountain, etc. Then I'm going to take that layer and I'm going to move it down. Okay, I'm moving it underneath the first mountain range and the background. Okay, and again, if I'm going to show you, if I move that up one, it's in front of. If I move it down, it's behind. And that is called overlapping. That is one of the simplest ways to create depth or space. So there you have it. There is my simple landscape. Up here, if I wanted to, you can either do one of two things when you take your screenshot. You can either take it in your gallery, which I'm going to do in a moment, or if you take it here, you do want to get rid of all of these tools. And this box on the right-hand side will just make it so you don't see any of that space. The other one is gallery, so I'm going to save it to my gallery. It says save current sketch, which I'm going to do. Okay, and then there it is. And I've done a few other ones. If I tap on that, it brings me back to my piece. I can also give that a name. So where it says Untitled, I could tap on that and then I could give it a name. You know, I could name it whatever I want to name it. Let's just name it. Oops. Value landscape. So I can label that as and it tells me how big it is, which is pretty big, and it's 7 layers. And again, I can take an image there. I can enlarge that and take a screenshot at that point, which will give me a kind of a black background. And there we have that. All right. All right. All right. Happy drawing. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.